Ever since the dawn of the world, mankind has sought out one of the greatest and most perplexing questions of all time. That being, what is the best LEGO theme of all time? Now I hear your rowdy cries. Some will say Star Wars, which is objectively wrong. Bionicle, which isn't even close. Space Police, Power Miners, Galador, Atlantis, f***ing Snap. And don't get me wrong, none of these are bad themes, not by any means. However, one must stand above them all. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's in the name of the video. We're talking about MIXELS today. Now, me saying that MIXELS was literally made for me would be one of the biggest understatements of the century. Everything about this stupid theme resonates so damn hard with me. Like, it's hard to describe, but I feel like I have a certain kinship with these Legos. Holy shit, this must be what Christians feel like after winning a Lotto Max. Let's you and I take a magical trip back to the wonderful year of 2014, where I was a big fat weeb, and I really liked those shitty Pacific Rim ass Hero Factory sets. I know they're not very good, but I don't care. I have a very soft spot for them. Shut up, okay? I like them. LEGO launched MIXELS in 2014, and it was kind of a big deal at a time. They got a shit ton of sets as well as a show on Cartoon Network, so yeah, it was kind of a big deal at the time. I'm just saying, that's pretty crazy. It got more love than Bionicle did, isn't that a twist of fate? A fun fact, apparently this show only happened because LEGO thought they weren't very funny at the time, so they needed to get some humor in their system. And I'm not gonna talk much about the show. I've seen a little bit of it. I didn't really grow up with it or anything. It's just kind of a dumb, silly Cartoon Network show, a lot of cringe humor.
You guys wanna fix it with a mix-it?
A lot of cringy voice acting, but I do actually quite like the designs, and I think that's fun, but at the same time, I don't care. We're not talking about the show. We're talking about the toys. So what about the actual toys themselves? Well, you came to the right place. There's a lot of good reasons why I can say that this is definitively my favorite LEGO theme of all time, or just in general the greatest LEGO theme of all time. No subjectivity here. Completely 100% objective facts.
Just the facts, ma'am.
And look, if we're just talking about the numbers here, holy shit, that's a lot of MIXELS. 81 MIXELS.
That's a lot of MIXELS.
9 series. And each series had about 9 sets in them. And the theme lasts about 3 years. I know it doesn't sound probably like a lot from a toy perspective, but you're looking at 81 individual characters for your theme. There were no re-releases. This was all individual characters. That's insane. And that's like the best thing since, I don't know, f***ing Ring Pops. And sure, you've got some repetition here and there, like fire, water, ice, electricity, green. But then you've also got ones like pirates, doctors / dentists, firefighters, wizards, cops. Okay, maybe those ones didn't age so well, I don't know. And this is why I love MIXELS. I mean, it's not hard to see why I like it. From the looks of it, they really just wanted to make fun toys, and in my opinion, they succeeded wholeheartedly. I mean, one of the tribes are literally sentient instruments that play themselves in a band, and they're called the MIXELS. How can you not, I mean, oh, come on. It's just f***ing awesome. Honestly, I could go on and on about a lot of these tribes because a lot of them have such fun concepts and very silly and wacky, and there's no surprise how a cartoon show was even considered about these things. And I'm going to go on and on because this is my video. This is not yours. This is on my channel. This is my video. For example, there's a tribe of pirate guys called the Pirates. That's very clever. One of them's a little shark man. The other one's a skull / clam thing. And then one of them is literally a walking treasure chest that is also a hermit crab. It's just genius. And if these aren't doing it for you at all, you must live a very, very, very boring life. Like I said, there's cops and wizards, there's also street cleaners, there's also firefighter MIXELS, also astronauts. Like, again, these probably sound very lame, but in my opinion, they make for such fun character designs that it's hard to get mad at them, because you have so many good concepts staring you right in the face. And clearly, the designers had a blast making them, so I don't know what the problem is. Oh yeah! I've neglected to mention that these freaks can combine. So you can make what's called a max, which is when the MIXELS mix. I see what you did there. And they can form like a big combination with all three of the major sets. You can make a max. However, when sets from different tribes mix together, that's called a MERP. And a MERP isn't exactly as cool as a max, but it can still happen. And you are encouraged to actively mix your MIXELS together to make a max or a MERP. But either way, the fact that you were actively encouraged to do this is pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. This is just one of those examples of LEGO being pro-alpha and putting as much creativity into a theme as they can possibly do. It really was just LEGO pumping their creative juices into this poor theme. I don't know why I phrased it like that. It was horrible. Like I mentioned, these designs are absolutely ridiculous. I implore you to go look up maxes and MERPs. You'll have a good time. A lot of them are even canon too. A lot of them are in the show, which is crazy. And they do in fact put a big Joker smile on my face.
I'm the Joker, baby!
Now you see here, the MIXELS weren't living in a conflictless world. No. They had trials and tribulations placed ahead of them. That was in the form of the NIXELS. These little shits are supposed to be the bad guys. Now I'm gonna be honest, the NIXELS are kinda lame. In concept, I like them. They're these small little rat-like things. They're very stupid and dumb by nature. And their job was to, like, I don't know, take away the MIXELS finger. I don't watch enough of this show. I think they want to take the qubits. Don't ask me what a qubit is, I have no idea. As is, they're barely a conflict. They don't even come in half the sets. They're just fun little side builds. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm just spitting random shit out like a lizard man. Now surprisingly, I've only ever grabbed 4 MIXELS in my lifetime. I grabbed 3 randomly from Toys R Us one day, and then I went back to get another one a couple years later. So I grabbed Lunk, who is wonderful. Globert, who his eye actually glows in the dark. He's a weird looking bat. And Hoogie, who sadly I do not own anymore. I've been meaning to go back and buy him, but I really did love him at the time. Those sets were chosen very randomly at one point when I was just in a Toys R Us. I just remember seeing the MIXELS in there and going like, I want 3 random ones. And despite the random choices, I was very happy with my experience. I remember even as a kid, I liked the sets that I had. They were all very good MIXELS. That's about it for my MIXEL experience. I didn't really buy MIXELS outside of that, which was a shame because the theme didn't last much longer after that point. I cherished and loved the MIXELS for years, and I think the reason why I love them so much is because despite how small they are, their builds were actually really creative. They popularized the tiny ball joint system that's very synonymous with LEGO nowadays. That's why they're called MIXEL joints, is because they were primarily used for MIXELS. I'm sure they would have been introduced anyways, but it's just funny how it primarily was used in the MIXELS theme. Now a lot of MIXELS would include these big ass bulging Glenn from The Walking Dead eyeball pieces, which I love having. I think they're great. I love the big googly eyes on every single MIXEL. It adds so much character to them, and it makes it go from inherently trying to make like a cool monster to something that's just pure goofy. A lot of the builds were very unique in nature. They had a lot of interesting pieces to achieve their weird shapes. For example, is used on this guy Slumbo, who has these little space helmet pieces as like the eyelids. I think that's just genius. And the exact same thought process can be applied to Mesmo, who has witches' hats as like the eyebrows / eyelids, but it also fits their magic sub-theme. Or we could even bring it back to one of the few MIXELS I went back to buy after the fact, your boy Tooth, aka one of my literal children.
Another bad dream, father.
Yeah. Do I even need to explain why he's amazing? Do I? Okay, I will. He's a giant f***ing molar, and he's got a toothbrush for an arm, and so he can brush his ugly ass teeth growing out of his giant regular tooth. Oh, and he's got a bow tie too. Now I'm just mad. I'm mad that I held off on this theme for so long. Back in the day, I thought this was just another theme that should have been murked off like Old Yeller. But now looking back, I'm filled with this deep regret that I didn't go back and get any of these a-holes. If MIXELS was announced tomorrow, you bet your ass I'd be buying every single one of them. I personally believe that this theme was one of the last dying embers of a truly great age of LEGO. Obviously, LEGO is good now. Hell, it's even great. You can build amazing masterpieces and some of the best looking sets you've ever seen in your goddamn life. You can buy a Nintendo, you can buy a Sonic, you can buy an Office, you can buy a big ass Bowser. But at the same time, you don't really get the same sense of playability or creativity or just fun that you used to before, you know? This included alternate combos, which don't really exist anymore. Unless you're talking about Creator, it's an awesome theme. Please support it. I try to buy as much Creator as I possibly can because the sets are still so good. It's getting more and more closer to the time when we aren't gonna need stuff like this anymore. All we're gonna need is Star Wars and Stranger Things and Marvel, which, again, those aren't bad on their own, but they're lacking something that LEGO is inherently about. Creativity. And I think others feel the same way because MIXELS are actually decently pricey on the aftermarket. On sites like Bricklink and eBay, they're not easy to get their hands on, which admittedly to me means it's a good thing because that means people are still buying them. There's still interest in the brand. I don't think MIXELS is going to come back anytime soon, God no, but I'm glad people are still actively supporting this theme. I was convinced I was the only moron who liked these things, so to see that other people are just as crazy about them as I am makes me very, very happy. I'd like a complete collection of MIXELS, preferably without having to declare bankruptcy.
I declare bankruptcy!
But until then, I'll just have to admire their legacy from afar and share my love of them with all the 4 people who decided to watch this video. But I think for the time being, I'm all MIXEL'd out now. So with that being said, thank you all for watching my video. Comment down below what your favorite MIXEL is, and I'll drop a MIXEL mixtape in the year of our Lord 2030. Also, shout out to those who might remember that I teased this video back in 2018. Yes, I've been planning it for that long. Sorry guys, I got a little distracted with the hoinky poinky, if you know what I'm saying. What do you get when you get what do you get when you get it?